So while I know you may see what appears to be my name on the list, I'd like to argue that I did not have sexual relations with those children on that island. Would it even count, though? It wasn't in the United States. Also, if you add up their ages, I'm sure it was above 18. Jeff told me since it was outside of the jurisdiction.
Bill, what the hell are you doing?
No, Hillary, I'm not confessing.
You idiot. Do I always have to clean up your mess?
What are you doing?
Our 42nd president of the United States of America, Bill Clinton. It's not a surprise if you haven't been paying attention. Okay, it's not a surprise that this man ended up on Jeffrey Epstein's client list. Of course, right here, an article from the New York Post. Clinton likes them young, Epstein once told victim, according to newly released court docs, right? And this is what they're referring to right here. This is in the documents that they were interviewing one of his victims. Quote, I did not know why they were friends until I read the Vanity Fair article about them going to Africa together. Question, did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton? He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to the girls. Now, as you guys remember, Hillary Clinton once ran for the United States of America. Of course, she failed to the greatest president in modern day time, Donald Trump. She was questioned about Bill Clinton being on the flight logs 26 times. 5 of them that he dismissed his secret services, to where there's no documentation of what happened during those 5 times he flew to Pedo Island. Of course, we all know that people who question this type of rhetoric, people who question the Clintons, don't really end up in a good aftermath, if you know what I mean. They end up, for whatever reason, they end up getting into car accidents, right? Or self-deletion. That's kind of weird. Or in this case, if you're an average guy that just wants to question the person who's running for president, or question any of our politicians that are powerful, they end up like this. It's kind of weird. Check this out.
Then you want somebody who's going to get up every day.
Hey, Hillary, why'd your husband visit Epstein Island 26 times?
Look at him. Hillary, why did your husband end up on those flight logs 26 times? Look at security comes in, dragging him out.
Is this really necessary? You decide.
Why do you guys support like just endless government spending? I mean, she's giving more money to white people in Ukraine than you freaking idiots in Houston who keep voting for her. Watch out. Endless money to Ukraine, endless money for Israel. She's not anti-establishment. You guys work for the same over and over again.
You silence the critics.
Chicago. You guys love this. All right, you have a blessed day, sir.
You have a blessed day, sir. We need you to shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of the building, because you're asking too many fucking questions to the great Satan's daughter, Hillary Clinton, right? It's exactly the message that they promote, to where you can't ask these questions. But that's the thing, right? Why was your husband on those flight logs 26 times? Like I said before, 5 of which his Secret Service was out of the picture. There's no documents on it. Kind of weird, man, right? But of course, if you're a Clinton, you can get away with that. A lot of people that question them end up in car accidents. Bill Clinton has already came out, and the only ones who knew about his crimes were the conspiracy theorists, right? The conspiracy theorists knew about what was going on. We could all piece that up together before the Epstein Island thing ever happened. Alex Jones was talking about this stuff literally 10 years before all this shit became mainstream, right? Let's do a flashback real quick. Quick flashback. Donald Trump literally predicted that Prince Andrew was in association with Jeffrey Epstein. He also even said about Bill Clinton being in association with Jeffrey Epstein. Check this out.
All right, let me mention some names to you and just get a quick response. Hillary Clinton.
Like a one-word response, I sort of think of Benghazi. I think of a failed Secretary of State.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island of Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
He's got a lot of problems. Bill Clinton, great guy, really nice guy. I think he's got a lot of problems coming up for being a pedo and going on Pedo Island, and that might come up with some problems. Wow, he predicted this a long time ago, before this whole conspiracy theorists were right thing. But for some reason, the conspiracy theorists were correct all along. And Donald Trump, who was paved that way for pushing conspiracy theorists.
President Donald Trump is someone who has really trafficked in conspiracy theories for many years, long before he ended up in the Oval Office.
Turns out he was right.
Barack Obama.
Incompetent president.
Okay, come on. Okay, easy one.
That island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew.
Just ask Prince
He'll
Andrew.
tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So,
the Clintons are friends
and he's
of
been
yours,
there
right?
for many
The
times.
Clintons are friends
Well,
of
I
yours.
can't say friends, but I know
You're
them.
friendly. You know them.
They play at my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to play
Are
at
you
my
saying
clubs.
there's a political problem for her if she runs for president?
It could be a political problem. Look, he could be a political problem. Right now, he's Teflon, and right now, maybe not.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously
Prince Andrew.
conducted himself in a manner unbecoming?
Aw.
Yes.
Unbecoming. He was a sex offender.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite, in the sense that he was a sex offender.
But you were staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted sex offender.
Yeah.
It was a convenient place to stay.
It was convenient.
I mean, I've gone through this in my mind so many
So
times.
he-
At the end of the day, with the benefit of all the hindsight that one could have, it was definitely the wrong thing to do.
Oh, yeah, I knew he was doing that, but, I wanted to stay with him anyways. Oh.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Boo-hoo, Prince Andrew. So, yes, of course, Donald Trump had already said this before, but of course he was called a conspiracy theorist, along with us that were saying that before too, but the mainstream media, of course, dismisses that, says that you're just pushing propaganda on these people that are asking questions. Well, you don't do that, because then you'll end up like that guy at Hillary Clinton's rally over there, right? They want you to be a person that doesn't ask any questions, that doesn't care, that just, when you hear somebody telling you the truth, you're like, well, how do you know? Were you there? Were you there? How do you know he was on those flight logs 26 times? Were you there? Did you see that? Of course, I'm making a straw man, but I've seen plenty of people argue that. Were you there? It's a fucking dumb analogy. But this is the brainwashing that they want people to have the mentality of. That's what it is. Now, speaking of Bill Clinton, of course, Bill Clinton is on that list. But another Bill that's awaiting his fate, which is probably going to come very soon, is, of course, you probably guessed it, not Bill Clinton, but Mr. Bill Gates. Yes, Mr. Bill Gates right here. As you guys remember, Bill Gates pushes the climate change agenda. He wants you to talk about how in the winter it's cold and in the summer it's hot. And maybe there was one summer where it was a little bit colder than usual. And maybe there was one winter where it was hotter than usual. And he wants you to talk about that garbage so that you don't remember the fact that he was associated with Jeffrey Epstein. And when Epstein supposedly deleted himself, Clinton himself, this is what he had to say.
It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors.
Yeah.
What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction.
Keep talking about global warming. Keep talking about that.
Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years. And that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing new on that.
Yeah.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. I'm
sweating.
Very
He's sweating.
proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation.
Yeah, keep talking about how the world's getting hot. So there you go. That's what he has to pivot to, because he has no answer. I regret it. Yes, I had dinner with him. Yes, I went on his plane. Yes, we had orgies with underage girls. But I regret it now. I regret it. Yeah. He's a nervous one too. He's a nervous guy that's entering 2024 with a lot of sweat on his brows. Okay, that's another one right there. But of course, the mainstream media is not talking about Bill Gates. They're not talking about all the other celebrities that are on those flight logs multiple times. No, they want you to focus on, well, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Donald Trump, all right, already has history of talking about how he literally kicked out Jeffrey Epstein from his clubs back in the day.
I was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein, and you watched people yesterday saying that I threw him out of a club. I didn't want anything to do with him. That was many, many years ago.
Those were facts.
It shows you one thing, that I have good taste, okay? Now, other people, they went all over with him. They went to his island, whatever his island was, wherever it is. I was never there. Find out the people that went to the island. I threw him out. In fact, I think the great James Patterson, who's a member of Mar-a-Lago, made a statement yesterday that many years ago I threw him out. I'm not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, anybody else?
Jeffrey Epstein is a terrific guy.
Well, I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him. I mean, people in Palm Beach knew him. He was a fixture in Palm Beach.
They didn't know
I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan. I was not, a long time ago. I'd say maybe 15 years. I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you. I was not a fan of his.
He's already been questioned about that. Of course, they want to talk about Donald Trump, but completely ignore all these celebrities that are just sweating their brows about the Epstein case, They're sweating their brows like this guy right here, okay? Jeffrey, which, by the way, this is a real painting that was founded in Jeffrey Epstein's mansion over there at the island. And this tells you a lot right here. Jeffrey Epstein had this painting. We never knew why he had it. Bill Clinton will plead the fifth. He won't talk about this situation. We don't know. But this says a lot right here, because the reason why Epstein had this painting in his mansion was to remind himself, because he's a narcissist, he's a conceited psychopath, and any other psychopath that enters his mansion sees this painting and says, Bill Clinton, the former president of the United States, is Epstein's bitch. I need to comply with Jeffrey Epstein because I don't want to be Jeffrey Epstein's bitch, where it's a painting of me in a blue dress with red heels. That's the message that Epstein sends on the people that he has underneath his pocket. It's exactly what it is. But hey, I mean, don't believe me. Let's just look at the evidence, right? The evidence is there. The evidence is out. We already know all these pathetic pieces of garbage that are being revealed. And Bill Clinton is just the start of all of it. And I hope everybody gets revealed. I hope all the ones that committed these crimes go to jail. Some might say put the death penalty on them. I would say let the righteous judicial system take its place, and when they pass, God will cast judgment on them, because only God knows their heart. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. This has been Project VOPod. I'm your host, Jake Farr. Like, subscribe, comment down below all your thoughts. And of course, Trump 2024. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Fucking peace.